All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live and absolutely unscripted here on the Paranormal Portal, and we hope you're doing great. It's Friday. You made it. It's the weekend. It's all looking good from here, right? So welcome, everybody. Hope your week went wonderful, and a special thank you for hanging out here and giving up part of your weekend for me and, of course, my co-host who is with me tonight, who is also the big branch on my personal family tree, Mr. Sheldon Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, hello. I'm doing wonderful on this wonderful Friday night. At the end of the week comes another wonderful show from the Paranormal Portal team, which is us.
Which is us. Angie Burke says, hello, Paranormal Portal. I've been a subscriber of yours for a while now, but this is the first time watching you live. Hope everyone is doing wonderful or well on this Freaky Friday. Yeah, well, good to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in and making a live show. It's wonderful to have you in here and taking part. And hope you enjoy yourself. I guess since you're probably already familiar with the show, these live streams anyway. So this is just the fresh version as it comes right out of the stove to you. But it's not been sitting under the heat lamps on YouTube for a while, so it's fresh as can be because we're just making this up as we go. But we've got a lot of things to get to tonight. I just want to make an announcement first of all. I've been thinking a lot about how to thank so many of you, those of you who've chosen to be members on YouTube, those of you that have chosen to be members of our Discord, which is, several of you, and its numbers are growing all the time. And so what we're going to do is, starting next month, we're going to give away a T-shirt to one lucky YouTube member, channel member, and also to somebody in our Discord. And so if you want to get involved and be a part of those things, be a member or join the Discord or both. Then you got double the chances. So we're going to start doing more to thank you guys as we can. We're still kind of a modest show here, so it's not like we've got a huge operating budget or anything, but I just want to find ways to say thank you because it really does mean the world and it helps out so much. And to all of you who, give super chats and all that stuff, thank you so much. You are really the reason this is still going on. All of you people that have extended yourselves and all of you that are liking the streams, that are subscribing, that are, sharing. This is really a grassroots show. I mean, I think I spent $20 once on an advertising run on Google Ads just to see. And it pretty much was a big nothing burger. So everything that we've grown has been because of you guys. So I just want to say thank you as much as I can. And we'll be announcing more about that in the near future. But I also wanted to let you know that next Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, there'll be no live shows. I'm going to be out among the world for a week, and so there won't be any scheduled live shows. I may stream here and there if I get an opportunity, but just to say hello kind of thing. Very, very informal, but just let you know. So next week, don't plan on live shows, but if you're jonesing for some Paranormal Portal, there's nearly 1,300 episodes in the hopper back there in the YouTube archives. So by all means, feel free to check those out. So there's lots to watch. If you I'm heading to a wedding, so I got to go out of state for a wedding, Angie. So that's where I'm heading. But yeah, cool. Not mine. I'm already married, but and not Sheldon's, right? Unless I didn't.
Nope, not mine.
Okay. Yep. So no, it's it's going to be a busy week next week. A lot of going on, but anyway, that's what's in the hopper. So watch for that. If you can become a member, I'd love to have you become a member of the YouTube channel, and again of Discord as well. Sheldon, can you pin Discord? Can you pin links into the chat?
No, I'm not able to.
You're not able to. Okay, I'm going to pin a link for those of you that aren't already members of the Discord. Oh, actually, I can pin yours.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can click the 3 dots there and say pin. Oh, I almost put you in timeout.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. I almost clicked that all wrong. Go to your room and think about it.
I guess so.
No, that was it. So there we go. Hi, Mom. Hi, is Portal Mom in here? Did you say hi?
I see someone saying. No.
Oh, okay. I saw someone saying hi to Portal Mom. So I was just looking. I'm sure she's lurking out there somewhere. She's always not too far away. She's always keeping her eyes on us. So anyway, we got a lot to get to tonight. Of course, we're going to do the news. Got a bunch of news articles to choose from, although we're only going to do, a handful of them. But we'll do the news. I think I got to shut this door, Sheldon. Can you talk for like...
I do hear that.
Yeah, I got that. My Alexa's out there playing Native American flute, which is what I love listening to, but not on the show. So I'll be right back, Sheldon. You talk to the people.
All right.
And you're on.
All right, everybody. How are we doing tonight? How's everybody feeling? Let's see what people are saying. We'll do it that way. I was able to join with the link above. Awesome, Jesse. Welcome to the Discord. Glad to have you. I'm glad you're joining the community. There's lots of great links in there, lots of great discussions in there from everybody who's joined. We're up at, let's see what the Discord's at right now. I'm actually curious. 900, over 200 people in there right now. It's amazing to see. And kind of like Dad said, grassroots.
Grassroots, baby.
This is all just from us and you guys in the show. And thank you so much for all your support, honestly.
It's all grassroots, and we ain't mowing, so.
No, we're not mowing.
We're going to keep those roots growing. All right, so I guess without further ado, we can get to some news. Ready for that, Sheldon?
I'm always ready for that.
Did you do shout-outs? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I was just talking about the Discord.
Oh, okay, very cool. All right.
Newest edition, Jesse Wilkins.
Jesse Wilkins. All right, cool. Very cool. Jesse is, of course, from Hometown Ghost Stories. Good buddy of mine and a hell of a musician, let me just say. He and I have been working on some music together, and Just brilliant. I'll just say that. But anyway, let's get to the news. Are you ready, Sheldon?
Always.
Always. What the hell is this? Why did they do that? They changed my buttons on the updates. Ugh, I don't like that.
Oh,
all right.
No.
I know. Turn updates. All right, let's go to the news, folks. Most trusted news, folks, right here on the Paranormal Portal. Depends on what you trust.
True.
Jesse, you know it's true, brother. Don't feign humility to me, brother. That's not gonna fly. He's like, oh, stop it. Those guys over there are great. If you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for another show to check out, I highly recommend you check out Hometown Ghost Stories on YouTube. Or their podcast, which is also simulcast everywhere. But they honestly, I really love the show we do, but they do things so well over there that they've actually raised the bar. I mean, it's just such a really well done production, and the guys are just amazing. So check it out. Good humor, good information, good discussions, and great format. So
yes, check out the link in the chat. I linked their page right in there.
Nice, Sheldon. Nice. All right, there we go. Let's get to some news and find out just what the hell I curated for your this one. This isn't really paranormal, but my God, this is one of those nightmare stories. I don't know how this has ended or what's happened since this headline came out today, I guess, 21st, right? But this, I think Unexplained Mysteries is like over in Europe, so I think that's there tomorrow already. So I don't know. I hope they've got this resolved. But from unexplained-mysteries.com, ladies and gentlemen, please check out this site. It's awesome, amazing, wonderful, and I love this site. Again, unexplained-mysteries.com brings us the first news story tonight, and this is armed police in Germany in 3-day hunt for the Beast of Berlin. Sounds scary. This is what the Beast of Berlin is. It's a lion. Somehow they lost a lion over there. Good God.
Oh, no.
An escaped lion on the loose in Germany has prompted an extensive police search that has lasted for days. For days, Sheldon. They can't find a lion. This is like a 600-pound feline, and they can't find it. There have been alleged sightings of exotic big cats on the loose in the UK and in other countries for decades, but this latest case, dubbed the Beast of Berlin, is very much the real deal. Oh, like the other ones are, and I see what they did there. Did you see that, Sheldon? They're kind of poo-pooing the big cat stories in the UK. They are also. It's funny because Unexplained Mysteries did a report maybe a couple weeks ago where they some researcher found some hair and had it tested, and it came back as a big cat over in the UK. So I don't know if it's something to scoff at. It remains unclear where the animal escaped from, but authorities in Germany have spent the better part of 3 days scouring the outskirts of the capital city for what is believed to be a large adult lioness. Okay. Those are I don't think that's better because they're the ones that actively hunt. It's the males that kind of lay down and watch TV until the females drag something in, right? So
that's what I've heard, at least, yeah.
The search seems to be centered around the, oh dear God, Kleinmachnow, Teltow, and Stahnsdorf areas where residents have been told to stay indoors and to ensure that their pets are also kept inside. Yeah, that's not where you want to be walking your dog. The alarm was originally raised on Wednesday night when two men filmed the big cats catching a wild boar before tearing it to shreds and eating it at the side of a road. Yeah, I think that's
oh my God.
It's going to be hard for them to say, no, it's just fog. The origins of the lioness are particularly puzzling because no local zoos, circuses, or animal shelters have owned up to mislaying the animal. I don't think you don't mislay an animal, for God's sakes. In all likelihood, the beast either escaped from or was released by a private collector. There you go. Apparently somebody caught it. I guess we could watch. This is a I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but what the hell? Like, that stopped me before. Let's just throw caution to the wind here and check it out. Ah, good. There's no music. That's good. Suspected lioness on the loose. Yep. They're going in the jungle. Good luck, boys. It's like Jurassic Park over there. Just tie a goat out. It works. Yeah, this is... seriously, this isn't art. There's nothing here. Okay, great. We got to see some police vans driving around. Good job, guys.
Wow, great footage, guys.
They only uploaded the B-roll. They forgot the whole A-roll. Where's the footage of the thing tearing apart a boar, for God's sakes? That's what I was...
Unless they just found the corpse, and that's the coroner report. I don't know.
No, they said that's the Wednesday night when two men filmed the big cat catching a wild boar before tearing it to shreds and eating it on the side of the road. You know that thing.
Where's that footage?
Yeah, that's what I thought we were getting, but nope. We got the we got the donut patrol instead. All right. Well, no, I'm not bashing on police officers. I have family members who are police officers and love them dearly, but that was really not a news report. That wasn't what I was expecting from Reuters. But anyway, if you live in Germany, be careful.
Be very careful.
Hairball. Be careful. Sorry. Yeah, don't do that. You're about to lose microphone privileges. Just, I can do it. I'm telling you, I can do it. All right. Yeah, there you go. That's the first one up tonight. What do you think, Sheldon? Big cats on the loose in Germany.
Scary.
Why not? Scary. There seems to be big cats everywhere else. It's about time Germany had to turn.
I heard that in Germany. Speaking of Germany, I heard that in Germany, Sasquatch is a protected animal.
Yeah.
It's a protected species.
Yeah. Yep. Russia did it first, and then Germany and France filed suit soon after. I think Russia did it in 1967, and I think Germany and France followed by a couple years. But yeah, it's a protected species over there. It's no, I mean, it is kind of an acknowledgement of sorts, I guess, but I think it's more like they don't know how many are out there, but they're thinking they're not many. So probably shouldn't be dragging them in the corpses or anything. So they're protected. Here we go. This is kind of in AI news, I guess, which is...
Oh, God. What do they do next?
All the rage lately, but this one has to do with James Cameron, the man who brought us the Terminator. He's in the news lately because, according to unexplained-mysteries.com, James Cameron on threat posed by AI. I warned you guys. Okay. What does that mean, that the Wizard of Oz guy can just say, I warned you about tornadoes? Look. No, it's not the same thing. The Terminator director maintains that he already warned mankind about the dangers of AI nearly 40 years ago. It's not like a documentary, for God's sakes. It was the Terminator. Back in 1984, James Cameron's original Terminator movie painted a picture of future ravaged by nuclear Armageddon and an endless war against intelligent machines bent on wiping out humanity. While such a scenario hasn't yet come to pass in the real world, the march toward ever more sophisticated AI platforms is very much the real deal. Speaking to CTV News recently, Cameron questioned the motivations behind this technology and highlighted the risks it could pose to the human race in the not-too-distant future. I warned you guys in 1984, and you didn't listen, he said. Lord Cameron.
It's not like...
Jesus.
It's not like they're marching on the streets right now or anything. They're just kind of concepts so far.
Be like, relax up there, Yoda. Jesus. I think the weaponization of AI is the biggest danger. I think we will get into the equivalent of a nuclear arms race with AI. Yeah, that's what we're going to compete. And if we don't build it, the other guys are for sure going to build it, and so then it'll escalate. You can imagine an AI in a combat theater, the whole thing just being fought by the computers at a speed humans can no longer intercede, and you have no ability to de-escalate. So could something like ChatGPT really end up wiping out human civilization? Only time will tell. Well, I don't think he was the first one to dream it up. I think Isaac Asimov kind of came before him, right? And a whole host of other people before James Cameron, but I guess he's going to take the bow on that one. So anyway,
I will say ChatGPT can do some crazy stuff.
Really? I've never even touched it. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean,
From
of
what
course I've
at
heard.
least.
Yeah, I've heard that it can as well, but yeah, I'm sure it's great at writing college papers for a hell of a lot of people, but yeah, other than that, there's going to be a lot of unqualified doctors in the near future. That's all I'm going to say. And engineers and stuff. It's like they chat GPT'd their entire degree. Yeah. Oops.
I mean, that's crazy to think about, though. Like in your time, back when there was horse carriages and whatnot.
Oh, you little dick. Wow. Horse carriages, really? Oh, my God. Go on. You got the floor.
Okay, sorry.
You're just so not going to be in my will. You just lost your seat in my will. Just going to say it.
Oh, my God. Okay, but like, genuinely, like, you had to go to the library, read book after book on like papers and whatnot. Nowadays, you can go online, type in a specific prompt in ChatGPT, and it can write a paper on that for you. Like, you do no work other than the initial prompt. That's kind of nuts.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about the horse carriages and things, but yeah, that's okay. I'll get over it. Just give me a few minutes.
I did the same with Nina. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, nice. Okay, you're batting 1,000. Yeah. Well, did she enjoy it as much as I did?
No, more. She was more upset.
Well, she wasn't doing a show at the time.
True.
This is my nice face right now.
True.
No, that's okay. All right. Well, let's get to the next one. This one is kind of going around. I saw that the Confessionals did something over there about this one as well. But it showed up in my pondering, so I thought, well, we haven't covered it yet, so let's cover it. You may have already heard about it, though, folks, because what I'm talking about is unexplained-mysteries.com brings us the next story, which is woman in France is struck by meteorite in freak accident or incident.
Oh, another one.
Well, it might be the same one. I don't know. That's
okay.
But this one I've been hearing about quite a bit, and I know other shows have covered it. So the woman had been enjoying a coffee on a terrace when she was suddenly hit on the chest by a small space rock. Meteorites land on Earth's surface all the time, but the vast majority of these are very small, and the chances of anyone actually being hit by one are so infinitesimally tiny that they are practically nil. Nevertheless, such incidents can and do happen, as evidenced recently by the case of a woman who was hit by a meteorite while sitting outside on a terrace drinking coffee with a friend. According to a local newspaper, the object struck her square in the ribs. I'm guessing it wasn't a big one, obviously. Yeah. I heard a big boom. She said boom. Coming from the roof next to us, she told whatever the hell that is. Les dernières nouvelles. No, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to sound smart. In the second that followed, I felt a shock on the ribs. I thought it was an animal, a bat. We thought it was a piece of cement, and the one we applied to the ridge tiles, but it didn't have the color. Fortunately, despite being hit by the space rock, the woman didn't sustain any injuries. Well, I hope she kept it. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's like, this traveled billions of miles in space and landed literally in my chest. That's
failed assassination attempt.
That's how comic books start. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, true.
Right? That's a great origin story. You're sitting there drinking coffee and boom, you're a superhero. Could happen. I'm thinking it's possible. But let's see what's next. I don't know if I want to read this one. This one's kind of... Oh, this one's kind of crazy. I got to read this one. I didn't know this was possible, and maybe the title is misleading, but because I have not pre-read any of these, so I'm learning with you guys. But this one, how long is this one? No, this is fine. It's not too long. According to unexplained-mysteries.com, a medical miracle may have just been achieved in Israel because doctors in Israel reattach boy's head after he was internally decapitated.
Oh.
Yeah, they stuck his head back on. How do you get internally decapitated? Was it did his spine break or what's going on? I don't understand this. Let's read. I guess that's the best course of action moving forward. Let's read it. A young boy had been riding his bike when a freak accident resulted in his head being severed on the inside. Dear God.
Oh.
In a remarkable feat of surgical skill, a medical team at Hadassah and Karen, what is it with names tonight? Jeez. Karen's trauma unit in Jerusalem, Israel, successfully reattached the head of Sulaiman Hassan, a 12-year-old Palestinian boy who suffered severe injuries when he was hit by a car while riding his bike. Well, that doesn't seem...
Oh, my God.
That's pretty huge. Specifically, his head was internally decapitated, meaning that the ligaments and muscles in his neck had been detached from the top of his spine, even though the skin and blood vessels were still intact. We fought for this boy's life, Dr. Onad Einav told the Times of Israel. The procedure itself was very complicated and took several hours. While in the operating room, we used new plates and fixations in the damaged area. Our ability to save the child was thanks to our knowledge and the most innovative technology in the operating room. No doubt the boy will be a lot more wary when riding his bike again in the future. Yeah, well, there you go. They actually, everything was torn. Like the kid just had a noodle neck going. But his spinal cord was still attached. His blood flow was still getting through. So, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Right. I don't know when this was, though, but I mean, the picture's showing the two doctors and the boy there. So that's incredible. Wow. Jeez. That's great. Well, look at this. Look at this shirt. Hadassah's Spine Service. It's like what you see on a plumber's truck when they pull by. It's like turd herders. You know, it's like, was he a NASCAR driver or what? Jeez. I don't know.
Got to advertise.
Yeah, it's all about placement. It's all about brand recognition, Sheldon.
Oh yeah, this probably boomed business. I
guess. Yeah, if you're internally decapitated, these are your guys. I don't know how often that comes up, but at least you know where to go. Oh, there you go. I think that's going to be the news tonight. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you learned something. And if you did, you're welcome. We do try to educate as well as entertain here on the show.
Yeah, so try.
Shut up, horse carriage boy.
That's fair.
I have to start trimming some branches on this family tree. All right, Barbara Moore says, hell yeah, I learned you don't need a good name to be skilled. That's true. You just need a good jacket that says your name and what you do.
Yep.
Hassan's Spine Service. It's right next to lawn care. You know, it's in the yellow pages. What the hell? I don't even know if people know yellow pages anymore, but
then again, some countries aren't like doctors. Some countries aren't doctors paid like teachers.
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm sure doctors are still probably paid more than teachers, but yeah, I guess
I could be wrong. That's true.
Well, there's certainly no doubt that doctors in the U.S. and I don't know about Israel though. I don't know how it works over there. Whether they have more of a socialized medicine or not, but Yeah, over here. You can make a hell of a living being a doctor, but you get a hell of a lot of student loans too. Man, they have some debt. Oof. So anyway, God, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here a little bit. Did I miss anything? No, looks like it was pretty normal. Why don't we do some shout outs here quick? You want to shout out, ladies and gentlemen? Type something in chat so we can say hello to you and thank you for being here. Sheldon will be doing the shout outs.
It is time to speak now in chat, but without further ado, here we go. First, we got Chucky Danger, Deb Varner, Eric, Grumpy Owl, Jesse Wilkins, John Stevens. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. John Stevenson, John Temperine, Flyer Tuck, Caleb, Matthew Learned, Karen Alberding.
Yep.
Oh, darn it.
Karen.
More of this, more of that. Matthew Learned. Natalie UK, you're here. RJ Windwalker, Rachel gets it right. Rick Weig, oh God. Weig Ernzin, I'm sorry. I do my best. Sandra Piper, Shepherdess. Smoking Guns Fab Shop. The Unknown, Vegas Dirt Pusher. Weapon X5 and Wizard Moon 13.
Outstanding.
And Eric.
Did you see Chris Sirk came in? Chris,
I did not, but hi, Chris Sirk.
Chris is here. Yep. So I think you got everyone else. I think
So.
Anybody else? You said RJ Windwalker. Maggie M10 is lurking. She's out there. Way to go, Maggie. Good to know you're here. Hardwick is here. Good to see you. All right. Thank you all for being. There's Portal Mom. I knew she was out there. I knew it. All right. So next, folks, we're going to get to another segment of the show that we've been really having a good time with. And this celebrates the Discord community that has been amazing and wonderful, and so many of you become a part of. If you like, and I often get comments from people that just check out the show, and they're like, oh my God, you guys have the greatest chat community. All these people are so nice in this show. And if you like the chat community, then get into the Discord, because these same people, many of them are over in Discord having conversations all the time about all this weirdness and anything really. But we have a wonderful community. And so what we've done is we pose a paranormal question to our Discord community. Special thanks to Chucky for spearheading our efforts here on Discord.
Yeah.
I love you, brother. Thank you so much for doing this. It really helps me out because it's one last thing that I have to remember. So if you've got a question of the week that you'd like to ask, let Chucky know. He's been tabulating suggestions from people and keeping a record of those and asking them in turn. So let Chucky know. He's really stepped up to the plate, and it really is awesome. So this is the opportunity for you guys to weigh in on some of this paranormal stuff that we talk about on the show, because you always hear our feedback. You always hear what we think, but this is an opportunity to hear from all of you. So I hope you will become a member if you're not already. So without further ado, let's get to it. It's time. And Mr. Sheldon, are you ready to read the question of the week?
I am prepared.
Good. Okay. Let's pop it on screen so you guys can follow along. And remember, if it is possible for those of you in the community that are not in Discord, if you're in the chat and you want to weigh in on this, then put it in all capital letters or something we can see easily, and we can read your responses as well. But it's time. Let's put it up on screen. Here's our chat community, folks. If you're new, this is the Paranormal Portal Discord page. Again, special thanks to K-Love. She elevated our server enough that we do have a static URL now, which is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. So if you want to get involved, click that link. And this is what you'll see. If you're new to this and you don't know what you're doing in Discord, right over here on the left-hand margin after you join the server is Discord tutorials. So if you click here, this is a bunch of videos that Sheldon and was it just ZX81V2 put up a link as well to help teach you Discord. Discord's not hard by any means. It's just different. So once you learn how to navigate it and how to post, you'll do wonderful. So anyways, thank you again, K-Love. And thank you to all of our Discord community for taking part in the question of the week. Okay, Sheldon. Sorry. That was a mouthful.
All right. So thank you once again, Chucky. We are indebted to your kindness to the show. So question of the week for Friday's show. There is a wide array of different methodology used in researching Sasquatch. In your own opinion, what seems like the best approach to researching Sasquatch? What would you do differently? What out-of-the-box idea would you like to try? Very good question, Chucky. First off, CMB Chasing Mound Builders saying, I would use more tools made for observing electromagnetic field and sound alongside the cameras and IR. Because I think they're using sound to manipulate the fabric of reality to traverse dimensions. Ooh.
Very cool.
They seem to know things that we don't.
Mm-hmm. Very good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding. BU55C coming in saying, personally, I use the quiet approach. I go out with the intent of peace and no harm. Being they are curious creatures, eventually they close in to investigate. Usually if you mean no harm, they are not aggressive, unless hunting or have little ones. The one out-of-the-box idea I would use is to use human female estrus.
Yeah, estrus.
Okay. Estrus pheromones on scent chips. That seems to lure in males.
Yeah, I've known some people that have done that, and they seem to believe that it really did draw them in. So it has been done. It's been done a lot with menses and stuff. People collecting menses and using that as an attractant. And it appears, at least in what I've heard, it appears to actually work. So you're onto something there for sure. Yeah,
that's true. But CMB also has a really good point.
What?
CMB also has a good point in the response. It's a good idea, actually, but if you're going to be provoking their urges, you might want to stand pretty far away from the scent traps.
Oh my God!
He's not wrong.
I had a visual of a really disappointed guy getting picked up with one hand and really regretting his choices in life. And that's the visual I got. So
yeah,
it'd be like that woman who used building foam like mousse. That kind of look. It's like, that was stupid.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that one?
I forgot about that. Oh no.
She looked like Johnny Bravo or whatever.
Yep.
Oh my God. Her hair was just a solid block. We covered a story on the news just to let you know where it was one of the stories of the bazaar. It's where some woman over in Europe had mistaken builder's foam, like insulating foam, for mousse, and she sprayed it in her hair, and it was like she had a block of hair on top of her head. It was just foam and hair. And that look on her face was just so priceless. And you couldn't help but feel sad and laugh hilariously at the same time. It was such a level of disappointment. So anyway.
Oh, we were dying of laughter.
Oh my God, I was folded on that one. That was hilarious. I still laugh when I think about it. I wonder if her hair's grown back yet, because you know they had to go right to the scalp. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm spiderwebbing. They had to take that down to the foundation, Sheldon. They weren't going to comb that out.
No way. Oh,
okay, go ahead.
My face. Okay. Eric the Purple Hobbit coming in saying, nothing out of the box per se. Simple, basic science. Observe, record, compare. That's
Good
fine.
point.
That's fine too. Yeah. CMB coming back saying, I'm not trying to be the only one standing there with a horn dog Sasquatch bursts out of the tree line.
Bring friends. Yeah. That's, and hope you're not the slowest one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, God. All right.
Oh, God. Sometimes you guys are the show for us.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, ZX81V2 saying the only problem with finally finding them is humans. They will be hunted, investigated, trapped, caught, sent to a lab, as with everything humans come into contact with. it would be the worst thing to happen to these creatures. And that's a great point. And that's something that Dad and I have also talked about.
Yeah,
that it's one of those things. It would be amazing to see them, but in a sense, I hope they never get found.
Yeah. I mean, it's just think in terms of like real estate. Somebody finds this amazing place, and so they carve out a little bit of the woods and the trees, and they can look at the waterfall. But then other people start finding it, and then what do? They carve it out. We have a tendency to destroy what we love. It's like, so that beautiful, idyllic location just becomes a suburb of houses eventually. Yeah. And it used to be something special. And I think that's very true what he's saying about Sasquatch. It's about the worst thing that could happen for them is that they are substantiated, because there's the scientific stuff that he did mention, and then you got to think of the illegal stuff, the illegal trade that would try to get a baby one or something and try to trap them, and because it would just be money. It would just it's just scary to me if they are discovered. I mean, I believe they're out there, but if they're authenticated, it would be a nightmare, and it would be the end of these creatures for sure.
Well, looks like we got a couple of ghost entities on the radar.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. They're popping in. They're getting ready for tomorrow night when we're going to do that again. We're going to do more research tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're lining up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Trying to find where it was again. Yes. Okay. So next up is Brenda Joe responding to CMB saying, back in the late 80s, I wore a pheromone perfume to a bar once. A friend had it and talked me into trying it. OMG. It was an awful experience. It was like being thrown into a submarine full of horn dog sailors at sea for months.
Poor Brenda Joe.
I think the dang dishwasher at the bar was even out there circling around me.
Yeah. God, it's funny that even as much as we pride ourselves on that, even people can react to pheromones like that. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
And usually without even knowing, right? Because it's not like we
so.
Smell it.
It's more of a neurochemical.
Our brain recognizes.
Yeah, it's a neurochemical thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. CMB saying, geez, that sounds scary, actually. I agree. Smoke and Joe saying, use multiple recording devices that are logged in with GPS all facing north. Using triangulation from multiple devices over a period of time. Establish a baseline decibel reading from 10, 50, 100 feet away, etc. from each device. Use those base numbers to scrutinize sounds made in a desired location. This will give you scientific repeatable testing. Record and track migration, behaviors, etc.
Wow. That's fascinating. Yeah, well
Smoke
said.
And Joe, look at you. Dang. Yep. Nice.
Yeah, I would have never thought of that. Wow. Okay. And?
Good plan. All right. So Arc Blaster, a new name for me, at least. Welcome in. Saying, strangely enough, I recall someone in the international scientific community finding similarities to heart and brain cells. And I forget the study and conclusion. Something worth Googling, I reckon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Yeah, it makes sense. Android coming in saying, good timing on the question, considering there's a really
impressive.
In what?
Yeah, it's what it's just
impressive trail cam photo of a primate-looking creature just recently posted on Facebook Hunters group. I think the best way is making no sound and masking your scent. This means going to an area with credible recent visual sighting, then going up in a tree stand and hang out there all day and night. Literally camp up there in the stand. Don't even bring anyone with you. If you are whispering with someone, they can hear you a mile away. Also, being up high will mask your scent more, since the air and wind up there will carry your scent aloft away from the ground. So in summary, go to where they are proven to be. Go up high. Don't say where to make a sound. That would not be a natural sound. Not even your fake Sasquatch calls. Yeah. I know. Sit and wait. If you're bored, read a book. When one comes, take tons of pictures with optical zoom lens. Take tons of videos with the optical zoom lens.
Not a potato. No more potato pictures. Yeah.
Oh, God, there's too many of those. Yeah. All right, next up, more of this, more of that. I apologize if this disrupts anyone's sensibilities. Old-fashioned primal instinct may help answering this question. One of the strongest odors a female goes through on a regular basis is the menses.
Yep, menses, yep.
In doing so, sometimes the odor can be very strong and could attract another male or female. In my humble opinion, most likely a male. It is akin to working with wild animals on movie sets because of the primal instincts of the animal. It is not a pleasant experiment, but a unique one that in my yield data if done more than a couple of times out in the field. Also, if they are of Earth origins, how the experiments could be done would need to be handed over to the professional researchers of both genders. Note, I'm with CMB on this one, although I need to read the answers after I posted this. Fair enough. Yeah. K-Love saying, mentally, I had to keep my thoughts clear in case it could read them.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. I'd mind my own business out in the woods by placing a plate of goodies for it near a bunch of hidden cameras. I would play soft music at home so it would come see what I'm doing and not too far away from the treats. Then I'd set up my easel?
Yep.
Okay. Set up my easel and start all painting. I see. I'd do this for 2 weeks straight in the same place for 8 hours a day. Each day, I'd bring a different types of goodies on a plate. I wouldn't search for it. Instead, let them come to me.
Good point. Yep. Very good point.
Because we have read stories of like people like kind of give offerings, right?
Oh yeah. It's kind of in my opinion, a risky thing to do, but it can definitely lure them in. But you don't want them to get used to it, because when you can't come and show up someday, that's when they throw tantrums. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's true. Okay, next up, old dementia.
Opal.
Wow. I said opal.
Oh, your mic dropped out then. It was like,
oh, okay. Opal dementia.
Demetria.
Well, God, Demetria.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Well, it's probably not out of the box, but I'd try something like Stephen Greer's CE5 contact method. I've yet to try that specifically, but I've read the process from the app, and I know some kind of mind connection can be made. I would also like to make sure I'm more mentally and physically prepared just in case, as in making meditation more of a daily practice. It's important to be able to discern your own thoughts and something else getting in your head that may have bad intentions. I agree with that, absolutely. I've had that happen before, and it's not always obvious.
Oh, right. Yep.
True. Even in a spiritual sense, that's very true as well. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's what she's referring to. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rachel 101 saying, it seems that Bigfoot are sensitive to modern electronic equipment, cameras, and such devices. What I'd suggest, as just an idea, is to go into the areas where you want to explore. Carry 2 manual single lens reflex cameras. One with regular film, low light, ISO 400 speed film for forced lighting conditions. The other with infrared film. Maybe have compact zoom lenses on both. Ones that don't look like they could be seen as gun barrels. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Walk through the woods as you do as a regular hiker. Poke around the forest ground like you're foraging. Kind of like hidden in plain sight kind of thing. Like you're looking for them, but you're not looking like you're looking for them.
I think several of you, and I think everybody's kind of on the same page, that there are active researching methods, but and like using the pheromone / menses and stuff seems to be, at least what I've heard about it, seems to be a successful utility to apply. But I think a lot of you are dead on with this, that look, you really don't go looking for them. You just try to make yourself interesting enough for them to come look at you. And I think that's the real key. You have to appeal to their curiosity, because the woods are their home. That's where they live. They know everything about where they are, and they can navigate it 100 times faster than we can. They can, climb. They can, physically, they're in a superhero class compared to us, literally, like the speed, their agility, their ability to move. It's, incredible, apparently, to the point that witnesses that have seen them run, like really run, actually were frightened. Even though they weren't running at them, they were just observing one running. And this has come up in several reports. They said it moves so fast, it terrified me. And it wasn't coming at them, but it was just the idea that something so huge could move so quickly and silently that it was just terrifying to the observer. So I think you just got to make them interested in seeing what you're all about. And I agree with so many of the responses. I think these are great ideas. I hadn't thought of a few of those, especially the sound triangulation. That's very intriguing to me. And it's hard to say. And yeah, Android, I did get your message. I'm sorry I didn't respond to you, but I've been looking into it. I've been talking with several other people in the community regarding that image that showed up, and it's curious, and it may be something really profound. This image that came out. If I get a chance, I'll try to pull it up. I don't know exactly where to find it. I know who posted it though, but let me just see if I can find it. Just for a reference, since we're talking about Bigfoot here.
Yeah.
I know one of Jason Trost of Cryptovania posted it. No, Trost. Let's see if I can pull it up from his feed. If I scroll down, I don't know how prolifically he posts here, so I think he posted it anyway. There's a lot of flowers here. But it's a curious image. There's some things about it that don't look right, according to what I interpret, eyewitness testimony, but there's others that seem to. Maybe he posted it on Cryptovania. Maybe it wasn't here on his page. Let me look there quick. But one thing that I found interesting was that usually Bigfoot, the ears are not visible. Like, people talk about, I mean, nobody doubts that they have ears, but what seems to be curious is that a lot of times they don't look visible, but the ears on this thing definitely do. Let me just see if I can, I guess it's only one image. Let me see how much I can blow this up in Facebook here. There's a bigger version of this going around. Oh, I know who posted a better version. Hold on. I'm sorry, folks, but I know this is a good version of it.
Oh yeah,
Stacy Brown Jr. out of Florida. He's a great guy. I've interviewed him, and he posted it. Yeah, this is the one. No, this isn't the one. Hold on. It's in his feed though. Here, let me grab it. I know. Here it is. There we go. So let me blow it up first, and I'll drag it over so we can put it on screen so that you guys can see. But this is it's a pretty impressive image. I mean, it looks kind of legitimate. Let's put it up on screen and you guys can be the judge. This is as big as I can make it here, but this is the image. And here's the interesting part. It does look like it's carrying a baby. Like this could be a head and the body's down. Some people weren't sure if that looked like a shoe. The ear is very present and visible, which is very unusual for a lot of Bigfoot Sasquatch sightings. Normally people can't observe an ear, like it's somehow very streamlined to their head or under the hair or whatever. There's no question they have ears, but they're just not usually prominent. But then again, this angle and this lighting might be just right to show it, where it might blend in really well otherwise. So Is that a real image or not? I don't know. Some people think it looks kind of blurred, like maybe it was trying to cloak or something. I don't know. But it looks like it's by a feed station, like somebody had a trail cam out here by a feed station, and they were just watching what came and showed up. And then allegedly this did. The problem with this is that the backstory is flimsy. And it's, my friend caught this on his trail cam. It's not exactly from the person who allegedly did it. It's just apparently somebody's claiming it's a friend of that person who put it out, or that found it, and he's posting it. Well, the other part is that trail cams usually take pictures in series of 3s pretty much by default. I think maybe you can change it to 1, but I would have to wonder if there was 3 images, where's the other 2? Why only 1? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but again, you've really got to, I don't know, I guess be extraordinarily skeptical with a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot of fakes. There's a ton of fakes.
Yeah, I hate those.
Yeah, it's the tough part of all this. But anyway, you be the judge. But this is the picture that Android was talking about. It is kind of exciting because it does look like it might be carrying a baby. Like that's a baby's head there, cutting off part of the face of the Sasquatch. But it's very obscured by the log. We don't know how big is this log, how, anything by scale. I don't know how high this is up. It doesn't look big. It looks like it's pretty tiny. If it is the Sasquatch, it could just be an older sibling. It doesn't have to be the mom or the dad, but at any rate, interesting. So
could be angle too, if it's squatting down really low.
Sure. It could be. It could be.
I don't know.
Again, it's anybody's guess, but there's just doesn't seem to be enough to go on. But I am looking into it to see if there's much more learned about it or gleaned from it. But I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's. I don't know. I just I don't really have a gut feeling on it. It's just really ambiguous to me at this point. So that's the image in question. And so you be the judge. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not saying it couldn't be. That's certainly not what I'm saying. It's just, I always approach these things with a lot of caution because I've seen a lot of these things come and go and then the hoaxes get revealed and it's like, God, another one. It's really hard to tell, and that's the tough part. If you're what?
Well, Chucky brought up a good point. Seems a little bit AI. Maybe that's why it looks so odd.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be a superimposed on an AI. I think the background is real. This thing, I mean, anybody with a reasonable amount of Photoshop skill could crop in something like this and blend the lighting as such that it would fit. But it certainly could be a hoax, and that's where, until there's a solid backstory or some more information about it, I'm just not ready to jump on the bandwagon personally. So, anyway,
the machines rages on.
The war.
The war. James Cameron.
James Cameron's like, don't worry about the Bigfoot. I told you in '84 about the machines. Yeah. What are we doing? Worrying about Bigfoot. Well, anyway, folks, thank you to everybody that weighed in on this. I think you guys brought up some great points. And, I mean, I wish you all could go out and investigate, and honestly, you can, because the one thing about Bigfoot is you don't need to be in the Pacific Northwest. You don't need to be in Florida. They're kind of everywhere. If you can just go to a wild place and look around, look for some of the signs like tree breaks and possible footprints and maybe structures, look around for oddities like that don't seem to fit. And you could be investigating Sasquatch in your own neighborhood,
Yeah, I remember there was one time I came up to Idaho where you are, and there was an area that you showed me when we went hiking that could have been. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like it looked like it was a shelter that was made by like branches and leaves or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, and there's one that Don and I checked out that was more like a dome, but it was clearly woven. Like it was these sticks, these long branches of trees snapped off and kind of woven together rudimentarily. Yeah. It wasn't real like pristine like many indigenous tribes used to weave, not like that, but it was strong. Well, Cindy Goodbreak went out and checked it out with us as well, and she was able to get up on it and bounce, and it didn't collapse. I mean, it was that strong.
Wow.
So,
jeez.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I shared those pictures. I mean, the pictures are on Instagram if you want to check them out, of that structure if you want to see what Don and I checked out. It was pretty cool. It was about, a good 6.5 feet on the inside from the floor to the top of the dome. So, and it was made out of a bent over 6-inch sapling. It wasn't broken. It was bent over as if something grabbed the very top and, worked it down so that it didn't actually break. It bent. So very cool stuff. But it's on the Instagram if you want to check it out, along with, I think I put a picture of the footprint that we found about a quarter mile away. So pretty big footprint too. It was about a good 14, 15-inch track and going uphill. Wow. It was going uphill. It wasn't castable because it was literally at an angle next to a railroad bed. So it would have been impossible for me to cast. I'm sure there's methods to do it. But anyway, enough of this. This has been the Discord question of the week. And thank you again, Chucky. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move forward with our night. I still have Glitch in the Matrix stories to go through, but I don't want to go through those again. We'll save the rest of that article for another night or whatever. But I found another article that I thought might be kind of fun to discuss, something different. And these we don't see very often, but they're cool stories because they don't come up as much. And oftentimes we do discuss, demons on this show. And you guys all pretty much know my opinion on that, is that generally speaking, demons don't want you to know you're there, but there's also angels. People have encounters with good things too. And we don't report about those enough. So
True.
I found an article on ranker.com that I think will be a good one to cover. And it's Angel and Demon Encounters. And it was written by Amanda Ashley in 2021. So 2021. All right. Let's get to this article and see what people discovered. See what they experienced, right, Sheldon?
That's right.
Trying to get it on screen there enough. Okay. All right. So this is, again, from ranker.com. This is, again, great article. I read through a little bit of it before the show, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So number one on the list is the Green Demon. And this is from Redditor Throwaway7893210. And it says, I believe I saw something evil, but I'm not sure if the correct label is demon or what. When I was 4 years old, I was playing with my sister and decided I needed to get something from my room. I walked upstairs and into my bedroom, and when I walked past the open door, I caught a glimpse of a figure hiding between the other side of the wall, hiding between the door and the other side of the wall. And it terrified me more than anything that I've been through since. I immediately screamed and ran downstairs to my mom, crying frantically, and it was green color, deformed, etc. Well, here's the kicker. My mom was a teacher, so was always great at calming my sister and me down. She gave me a piece of paper and some crayons and had me draw what I saw so I could look at it and deal with it that way. Well, after I drew it, she immediately grabbed the picture from me and faked a darn good, it's okay, just your imagination tone. Much later, we were talking about how creepy the house I grew up in was. When I mentioned the green man behind my door, she told me that when my older sisters, she told me that my older sister saw and drew almost the exact same thing when they first moved into the house. She's a very practical, skeptical woman, but that story freaks all of us out completely. So, wow.
Ooh.
Something creepy lurking in there, right?
Ooh. Just reminds me of, you already probably know what I'm going to say, but it does remind me like generations seeing the same thing, like that.
Oh, sure.
The trench coat hat guy.
Yeah. In our dreams. Yep. 3 of us so far. We'll see if Elijah has the same thing.
Yeah. Number 2,
Battle Ready Angel. This is from Reddit user Rev Melissa. It says, years and years ago, I had this dream about this epic battle. My side was on the hill and we were getting ready to fight. And there were angels on our side. And one of the angels came to me and asked if I was ready to lead. And naively said, yes, I'm ready. Well, he looked at me in the eyes and seriously responded, are you sure? Well, I woke up sitting straight up in my bed. A year or so later, I was hanging with one of my friends at my house, and we had some beer. I was underage, and we were going to drink it. When I went to open the bottle, the very same angel appeared in my door frame and shook his head no at me. I could see him as clear as day. Well, I asked my friend if she could see him, and she could not. She believed me, but she couldn't see. Needless to say, we had cookie dough instead of beer that night.
Wow.
It's like a babysitter. Wow, very cool.
The guardian angel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of angel he was. He was, the angel of sobriety.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Shadow Church Demon. This one's kind of creepy. I read this one before. By Redditor 400-22054. Our church had 3 family members die in a farming accident, and one of which was a professional rugby player. So it made worldwide news in rugby circles and huge local news. It's from the UK. About a month later, my dad is a janitor at our church, and one night, while doing security, he caught a reflection of someone on the balcony, so he turned and saw what he described as a shadow standing. It spoke to him in a voice, but not an audible voice. More like the voice you think in, but he didn't recognize it, so it wasn't his, if that makes sense. And it told him, "Man of God, I'm coming for you." A few weeks later, he was talking with our pastor, who's pretty new to the church. They're great friends, and was telling him about this. As he was mid-story, the pastor started drawing on a pad he picked up. While my dad was finishing his story, the pastor turned the drawing to him and said, "Was this him?" My dad confirmed that it was remarkably similar, too detailed to be drawn from my dad's description. My pastor told him that the same demon had sat where my dad was sitting about a week ago and told him that he was a spirit of division and would do everything he could to split the church. Unfortunately, we had quite a split in the church about a year ago due to issues people had discerning scripture. To Dad and I, it's not just a coincidence, but that's just us.
Wow.
Creepy, right?
Influencing the minds of the church and then splitting things up. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, that's the creepy part. I mean, that's the thing with some of this stuff is there are things that's what they do. That's their existence, is to try to pull apart good things and good peaceful places and corrupt. So, yeah.
It's kind of like you said, though. I mean, you've said before, at least, is that all these things have is time. They could wait. I mean, theoretically, they could literally sit there and wait your entire life waiting for you to turn and crack.
Or waiting for something to start cracking you and then just exploit it. Yeah. Wait for a tragedy and then just, start pounding away. Yeah. Yeah, they have nothing but time. And the interesting thing, though, is that it warned them. I mean, it was like a challenge, right? So this wasn't just your run-of-the-mill basement demon kind of thing. This was something diabolical. It was a challenge,
Yeah.
So that sounds like something much more potent than just your run-of-the-mill, dark thing. But crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, number 4, time freezing angel from Redditor Tau31. I was a little kid, and my friends and I crossed the street to get ice cream from an ice cream truck. And normally this road doesn't have much traffic. Well, I got ice cream and stupidly began crossing the street from the back of the truck. A truck was speeding my way, and it had to be 10 to 15 feet away from me. And time just froze, and so did I. I saw the truck, and then I felt and saw 2 hands guiding me across to the other side of the road. I believe it was an angel. I couldn't make out the face, but it had to be. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, is this thing on? Hello?
So Wonder Woman was saying that she just got out from heart surgery, so I'm wishing her well.
Yeah, sending you love and fast healing. I hope everything went good. We certainly love you, and yeah. Everybody send your healing vibes to Wonder Woman, please.
Yep, send that intention over.
All right, number 5 is Doppelganger Angel. This is from Redditor Eric MPS. Says, I woke up in the middle of the night to the sight of an angel, but it had the same facial features as I have. Well, I believe that I caught him off guard because he turned his head quickly and had a look on his face of surprise. The next thing I can explain that happened was a bright light burst from him and he vanished. Huh. Maybe you were supposed to be a twin. Maybe that was your twin. Earned his wings keeping after you. Or just what?
Something, it kind of brings up something I've thought about before.
Okay, what's that?
If time is an illusion for us, for spirits, and for us when we pass, Who's to say you can't be your own guardian angel watching over yourself?
I guess that's, who knows? Boy, what a paradox that is. Well, yeah, great thought. One that I'm not capable of answering, but yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. But still,
What
I've
if?
thought about that before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Just thought.
No, I mean, it's profound. It's just, how do you respond to that? I don't know. I guess anything's possible. It's just, who would know? That's crazy, though. Good thought. Number 6, the growling demon. This is from a former Redditor. He must have given it up. All right. I'm a reformed Redditor. This one semester, a few people in my student group, including myself, within a month, all saw, heard, experienced something I'd call demonic. We only really found out we all did at the same time, a few months or weeks later. I forget. Basically, one of my friends woke up to growling noises. Another went into his bedroom and saw 2 red eyes looking at him from a window and then gone. I was woken up by strange noises in my room, and when I got up to see what it was, something punted my chest. What's a punted you in the chest? Held my neck down and then disappeared. Oh, dear God. It also happened a second time, and that time it decided to punch me in the face rather than choke me, and then disappeared again. Oof, just random face hits. I didn't see what it was, though. My mind had a field day trying to. My friend who saw something did not hear anything, and my friend who heard something and did not see anything. It was one of the strangest events I'd ever experienced. Up until that point, I discounted demonic things as pretty petty ignorance of the ancient people. Well, now I'm not so sure. These events took place within, I would imagine, a month. Not all in the same night, so much as I know. Yeah, that's creepy. I mean, it's obviously, seems like it was targeting that person, but just kind of like, yeah, I don't like you, smack, It doesn't seem like it was intent on destroying the person. It was just, oh, yeah, you. So I'm not sure what that means. Very interesting, yeah. All right, snow melting angels coming up next from another former Redditor. The winter of my freshman year at college, I was seriously physically ill with a penicillin-resistant infection that caused me to double up in pain often. And I was battling mental illness as well. It was my first year in the upper Midwest, and it was the coldest winter in 10 years in the area. I was coming from the southwest desert, where it rarely gets very cold. I'd suffered through a couple of frostbitten toes already that winter. I have mild Raynaud's. I don't know what that is. Is that a circulation thing? Probably. I just learned that I had a chronic injury that would impact the activity I love to do the most forever. I love to do most forever. I don't know what that means, but I was struggling to fit in at the college I was attending, and every day I cried for hours because my classes were really hard for me. I wanted to die. I prayed to die every day. One night I had a dream in which I woke up in the morning and the snow was melting. There were flowers. The sun was out. Everything was beautiful. Well, I walked to class in the dream and sat down at a desk, and the young man sitting next to me turned to me in the dream and told me, "God told me to tell you that the snow will melt." I was confused, and the young man repeated the words in my dream. I remember being surprised and realizing it was an angel. When I woke up right after that, I felt instantly better. I kept repeating the words to myself for the rest of the winter. Well, that's cool. I mean,
there you go.
It's an inspiring dream. Sure. I think it's could very well be angelic. Good to hear it. Number 8, glowing red eyes demon. Ooh. This is by Phasers to Fab. Shit your phasers to fabulous.
That's hilarious.
Don't everybody clip that, please. I saw a demon once when I was a kid. It was a silhouette of something clearly not human, and it was standing in my neighbor's driveway. As cheesy as it sounds, it had red glowing eyes too. I've heard what I believe were demons once. I heard my entire family in the hallway talking about how they hated me. I was in my room silently crying about it and decided to walk out and just show them I heard what they said, and it made me sad. Well, I walked out and no one was there. I looked everywhere and I asked my family about it years and years after, and none of them knew what I was talking about. They're nice, and I have no reason to believe that what I heard was actually them. Plus, the house we were living in at the time had a lot of incidents like this. We were constantly hearing other people walking around, opening doors, the fridge, etc. Wow. So that's what a mind screw that is. You know, somebody's a young kid, and so it mimics all the voices. Oh, we hate him. We just wish he'd go away. Oh, it's the worst thing ever when he was born. It's like, wow, what a mind
insanely
screw.
Diabolical.
It is. Yeah, I mean, talk about breaking someone's spirit. I mean, especially when you're young. Like now, I don't care. I don't care. I honestly don't care. You know, doing this show, one of the things I was thinking about is, man, it's going to kind of suck because you know that somebody's going to say something just really hurtful. And honest to God, it just cracks me up every time. It doesn't even bother me. I usually just chuckle and then, you know, jab back at them or something, you know. But yeah, I think when you're young, man, that's everything. That's your world, especially your family. Your family's like the one safe place you have when you're a kid. Jeez.
That's rough. That's actually really rough.
It is. That's so creepy.
Is that something like you might try to like mentally like, no, that wasn't them, but like there'll always be that part.
Oh,
it's like,
sure.
Wait, was that a deal? Well, maybe they were actually saying that, you know, when they're older and all that. It's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing this person went out and looked, you know, and was like, oh, nobody's out here.
Oh, true.
True. And then looked around.
Yeah.
You know, so they couldn't find anybody outside of their room talking about how much they hated him or her.
Imagine if he didn't look, though.
Oh, yeah. What if you're carrying that brick? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the tallest angel is next. By What's Green Eats Nuts.
What?
It's the name of the person. What's Green Eats Nuts. I don't know. Anyway, I've seen an angel once. I was 11 years old. I'm in my 30s now, but never doubted what happened. I was asleep in my room when I woke up in the middle of the night from a bright light shining through my room's curtains. Our street didn't have any street lights, and we had tall trees lining the front of the house in the street, and I knew this light wasn't normal. Initially, I was terrified and lay as still as I could for what felt like 10 minutes, and eventually I mustered the courage to go and satisfy my growing curiosity and made my way out of bed towards the window as quietly as I could. I positioned myself against the wall next to the window and pulled back the curtain just a little bit. Then I saw him, a very big, tall figure wearing long robes looking over our house. The trees I spoke of earlier were taller than the roof of our house, and they took him at waist height. Huge. The light was radiating from him, and I don't remember facial features or hair, and he didn't have wings. But awestruck, I went straight to my parents' bedroom and woke them, telling them of a tall man outside. Well, Mom thought I had a bad dream, and I got into bed with them and slept. The next morning, I told them the whole story, and they believed me. The experience has definitely changed my life, and I can't imagine anything that could beat that angel in a fight. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, how big would they be really? I don't know. If they were, you know, in scale, could they be giant like that? Maybe.
Sounds like half a football field tall.
Yeah, I mean, could be. I don't know. Taller than trees. The trees were only up to the waist, so
yeah,
that's huge. That there's a big one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Black Dog Demon is the next one. This is from Reddit. Rose of Amber. I'm pretty sure I've seen a demon. My mother wasn't a very nice person when we were growing up and is doing much better now. But I'm convinced we had something attached to our house we had when growing up. My parents have since moved. The demon I saw manifested as a large black dog-shaped thing that looked lizard-like with red eyes. I saw this several times as a young teen, and personally, I think it was feeding off the anger in the house. Anger has a kind of power to it when you use it to control other people. Demons like to feed off of it and use you to cause strife if they can. Demons don't have any real power unless you allow it, which my mother and I have done in the past. We no longer have any issues. Yeah, there's no question that there does seem to be a correlation between them wanting you to think and feel darkly and horribly. Whether that's just a weakening thing or if they actually subsist off of you radiating that and it feeds them. I mean, that's certainly powerful and possible, but yeah, just keep your head about you. That's terrifying, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But it makes me think of like Dogman, like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but like.
No, this seems more ethereal. It wasn't physical.
Yeah.
Cartoon form demon is next. This ought to be a good one. By Just Peachy 13. When I was young, I saw a demon. My sister's room was down at the end of a hallway, and I fell asleep on the couch in the living room. I could see clearly down the hall from this view. Well, I woke up in the night and saw my sister standing in her doorway, and I said, "Hey, sis, are you okay?" Then with a sickening in my stomach, I realized my sister wasn't home that night. She was at a friend's. I went back to sleep. A year or so later, I was asleep in my bed, and I saw a demon next to my bed. He was a dream demon, so he was in cartoon form. I cried out to Jesus and commanded him to leave, and I woke up suddenly to a figure ducking out of my doorway. No one in my home was that size, so I knew it was evil. Okay, well, could be. I don't know. I mean, if they actually saw someone ducking out of their room, what does that mean? Ducking because they're so tall they had to duck to get out of the door? Is that what I'm reading?
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's that big, maybe. Could very well be.
Ugh.
Here's a good one. Warm, consoling angel, Sheldon.
Ah, good one.
From Redditor Moonchild02. I used to live in a haunted house, so there was a lot of spiritual activity there. I'm an empath, which means I sense things that others don't know are there. And I can feel what others are feeling. Example, if someone else near me is in pain, I'm in pain too. So I've had a lot of experience with the spiritual, supernatural, paranormal, whatever you want to call it. Angels, I've sensed them or heard them more than seen. I've seen the sword of St. Michael in the form of blue lightning in my room. Clear skies, no rain in the middle of summer. It was when a demon was frightening me and I had asked for help from God, Mother Mary, and St. Michael. I felt warm hands touching me, trying to console me. But it always freaks me out. I sometimes hear them when I'm asking them to pray for me. Once I was watching Supernatural.
Yeah.
Great show, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the episode was about how Saint Raphael had turned bad and was trying to kill people. I'd recently stopped watching the show because it seemed to be all of a sudden making fun of my faith, but a friend of mine said it was a really great episode. All of a sudden, I saw the real Saint Raphael in front of me, next to the television, crying. I knew then and there that I could never watch that show again. Huh. Yeah. Well, there you go. Those were some stories about demons and angels, folks. I don't know. Some of them seemed pretty profound, and others are different. But I mean,
yeah,
I don't discount dream-like experiences because, having had some incredibly profound dreams myself, I have no doubt that what occurs in dreams can be absolutely relevant and real. It's just, I think, an easier place for us to be encountered by spiritual things, or encountering spiritual things. So yeah, very cool though.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you say dreams are like, it's kind of like our, in a sense, like a vulnerable state for us, not obviously not physically, but just even mentally, spiritually type of thing?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I kind of wonder about that, I guess. I mean, if it was
Like
truly,
it's
if it was truly a vulnerable state for us, then I'm sure we would lose a lot more people, like possession and stuff like that, or something horrible happening. I think it can be, but I think it still depends on the person. Like a person who's been oppressed for a long time or is under some kind of spiritual attack for a long time, and their defenses are wearing thin. I don't know that it probably is huge difference. I know we encounter things more often that can be like nightmarish in our dreams, and I don't know that they aren't a real intelligence themselves. So maybe they come at us in dreams because we're kind of out of our element. But I think it has a lot more to do with your aura and your energy field itself. But I could be wrong. I know that some people talk about astral projection and they say that, you're vulnerable when you're projecting because there's allegedly some sort of an umbilical cord that stretches from your body to your astral body that if it's severed could actually kill you. And so, I mean, if that's the case, then that's pretty terrifying. But I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really weigh in too hard about it. I just think that, I've certainly had some horrible, horrible dreams. I can't even begin to tell you the nightmarish things that I've experienced that I think were very spiritual in my dreams, but I never felt fear in them, except for a few times. One was the Hat Man when I was a teenager. I mean, I say Hat Man, but I don't mean the traditional Hat Man that most people consider, unless it's the one and the same, and I was just able to see him better. And ladies and gentlemen, this is something that Sheldon experienced. I experienced as a teenager. Sheldon experienced, and his younger brother Oliver, my middle child, experienced.
Dad had never told me about the Hat Man until I came to like, God, I've been having these bad dreams, and I explained something, then you finished. You're like, did he look like this? Did he have that? And I'm like, yeah, that was him. Like, oh my God, I had the same dream when I was younger. Yeah.
So he was kind of similar to what was portrayed in Poltergeist, in the movie Poltergeist 2. Kind of like the old preacher that God is in, except not emaciated. He was like robust, but he was older, but had a normal body, normal size, if not a little bit taller. But he wore like a black trench coat, a black hat, had white hair.
Yep.
And it didn't matter what I did in my dreams. And he let me know, no matter what you do, you can't get away from me. You can't escape me. And sure enough, I tried. They were very lucid dreams. Like I tried imagining I was like Spider-Man and I'd get to the top of a building. He was there. I'd fly wherever I'd land. He was there waiting. And I would try to punch him, and it would be like these thunderously hard punches. Like you hear thunder, like wham, like you, and it wouldn't faze him. And it'd be like, it was such a blow, It was kind of like a Freddy Krueger thing, there was one of the movies of Freddy Krueger where people could dream and lucid dream, and they could turn on their superpowers or whatever if they wanted. And basically it had no real effect, but it kind of made them feel empowered. But I was like that. I just felt it didn't matter what I could imagine. This thing was there. And then you came to me with those same dreams of being pursued by this thing, and you couldn't get away. And I was like, wow, what are the odds that I would have this as a teenager? And I outgrew them. I just they finally quit happening when I was done with my teen years, but not something we discussed. But then you would come to me so many years later and say, hey, I'm having these weird dreams. Like there's a guy, I can't get away from him. And he keeps he keeps chasing me. And I was like, wait, did he look like this, this, and this, and this? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, wow, it's now two of us. And I thought that was profound. And then Oliver one time came up to me and was like, Dad, I'm having these weird dreams. I was like, so three of us,
Yeah, all three of us.
I don't know what to make of it. But yeah, it's just a strange thing. And as I think back on it, I don't know that the guy was necessarily evil. He was just persistent. But it scared me. It made me feel afraid because it didn't matter what I did. I couldn't get away. And I didn't like that he was able to be everywhere and could do that. He didn't ever hurt me. He didn't ever threaten me. He just had that look in his eye, like no matter what you do, you can't get away from me. And I was like, don't. Maybe I can't, but Spider-Man can. Or, no, he can't. Never mind.
No, in my Android was asking, is that what you did too in your dreams too, Sheldon? No, it wasn't like he was just. Well, it was kind of like he was chasing me. He just kind of appeared behind me. It seemed like he was trying to teach me something, a lesson, but I was too terrified.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So I don't know. It was an interesting experience, to say the least. Like, he was terrifying, but it wasn't like he was a scary thing, like he's trying to hurt me type of thing. It was,
yeah, right.
It was kind of, I was more scared of what he was trying to teach me, I guess.
Right. And even in the course of my dreams, it was like I would try everything to attack him and hit him, but he never struck me, never did anything to harm me. And, and that was reflecting back on it years later. It's like, it never was an attack. It was just a presence, but it scared me because I was like, what the hell is this? Why can't I get away from it? Who is this? What's going on? So I was freaked out, but it's more by the presence of it. But then, Oliver's saying the same kind of dreams he was having repeatedly. So I don't know what it is. I don't have an answer, but you're right. Maybe it was more benevolent, and it was just a different kind of presence. It wasn't just a flowery angelic thing, but it wasn't necessarily evil. It was just maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was something in between. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but very, very, very bizarre. So, but yeah, we'll see if Elijah has the same experience when he gets older, because this is it was during the early teen years, like 12, 13. Like, I think you were 13 when you came to me about it. Maybe 14, but in that range, yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
And Oliver was about 11 when he came to me, so yeah. So about in that range.
What would that tell you? I mean, even if Elijah does, what would that tell you?
Well, I think I could probably, even when you told me about it, was just unreal. It's like, oh my gosh, is this something, that's going to be a generational thing? And is it something horrible? Is it something, I didn't know what to think of it. But now as I've reflected on it, I think I could at least hopefully give Elijah better advice. Like, maybe it's not trying to hurt you. Maybe just, relax and just, close your eyes in your dream and hopefully it'll go away, or something. I don't know. That's a tough one. How will I explain it to him? How do you explain that stuff to anybody that doesn't really, where do you go? Do I say it's some dream being that stalks us? It's playing tag.
Yeah, don't scare more.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't want to make him terrified, but at the same time, at least I think I have a more grounded understanding of it than I did then, and that's not saying much because I really don't pretend to know what it is now. But it's more than just coincidental that all three of us would have the very same visage show up in our dreams. Maybe it's something metaphysical. Maybe it's representative of something like, that maybe it's a turning point in your life and it's just manifest out of this figure. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, but it's curious. But
also, what would it? I mean, there's one hand to explaining to him, sure, but what would that tell you? That this is like it's following our bloodline? I don't understand.
I don't know. I'm not sure either. I mean, is it a spiritual family thing? Is this some maybe it is angelic and it's just part of helping guide us on the path. Maybe it's just something benign. Maybe it's more neutral. I don't know. It really doesn't tell me much anything other than I actually do expect that he'll come to me someday and say, I've had these really terrible dreams and this guy shows up and I guess we'll talk about it. Hopefully something profound will come out of my lips when he does that. Because I don't know if I was much help to you either. It was just like, oh yeah, boy, I can tell you. I know what you've been through. But
well, I will say, I thought when I was younger, I did think it was really cool that you also had the same dream. So that might help.
Well, and I got to admit, when you told me that, I was like, wow, what does that mean? That means it's not just the musings of an unconscious mind, that maybe there's something significant to it, but is that a good significance or bad? I really didn't know at that time when you brought it to me. And even when Oliver did, I didn't know still. And I still can't claim to know, but I just know that as I think back on it, all those things that I did attacking and trying to, defeat it, it never did raise a hand to me ever. And it didn't even look mad. It was just like, yeah, that's not going to work. Just, like a kitten pawing at the St. Bernard or something. It's like, all right, whatever. Just get it out of your system. So anyway, I don't know. Weird stuff, folks.
Yep. Great tangent we got on.
Yeah, I don't know how we get on tangents, but that just goes to show you we just generally don't have a plan, other than a baseline. What? Oh, what?
Rachel, Brent, maybe you have The Shining.
What's The Shining?
From the movie The Shining, the ability.
I've never. What does that mean though? I think I saw The Shining back in ages ago, but I don't know what The Shining means. I've never.
I saw the continuation too. It's like a ability and connection with the spiritual side of things.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you that in all the investigating I've done, and even the pretty profound activity I've experienced, I've not been scared. So I don't know if that ties into it. I've always thought there's something wrong with me, because it feels like, you should be, right? When a chandelier pulls out of the ceiling, I probably should have been scared. It's like, but it just didn't ever feel fearful to me. But, I'm not going to say that I can't be. Obviously, I think there's many things to be very concerned about in the spiritual realms, but so far, I've done really well. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I want to get to the cryptid corner because we've got like a half hour left.
I know we went on and say my bad.
Well, no, it's fine. We can talk about anything. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is there isn't anything we have to discuss or shouldn't discuss. It's all on the table. Brent, are you part Squatch? Do I look hairy and unkempt?
Yeah, that's me. I'm part Squatch.
Yeah, actually, Sheldon's. You got the whole hairy thing going.
I'm very, very hairy. So yeah, I would. I could be. You never know.
You wear it like a badge. I'm very, very hairy.
I'm very hairy. I mean, you got to embrace these things.
It's a Shelled Squatch. No, I don't think.
Squatch.
I don't think I'm squatchy. Yeah, I don't think I'm fearless either, Chuck. You don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that worry me, and I think if I walked into the woods and had an 8-foot Squatch step out, I'd be fudge striping all the way back to my car. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they look at me and they just think they lost a child somewhere.
Let's take him home. Yeah, exactly. You look like you belong. No. Yeah. Oh, anyway.
Take off my show and we're good.
All right. Just before it goes all the way down the toilet.
Sorry, guys. All right, let's continue. Cryptid Corner, right?
Cryptid Corner. I got a few articles from Phantoms and Monsters pulled up, folks, that we're going to go to now that I think should round out the Cryptid Corner pretty well. And again, Phantoms and Monsters is Lon Strickler's site. He does a fantastic job over there. He's cataloged thousands of encounter stories. He's got research going on there with groups around the country and possibly the world. And it's a great place to find all of Lon's published works and links to all of that. He's published several books, and he has Phantoms and Monsters Radio, which is his podcast. So, and you can check out his YouTube channel as well. Go support that. It's Phantoms and Monsters on YouTube. So we're going to go to the first one from phantomsandmonsters.com. And this one is from July 21st. It's actually brand new. Ooh. And it's Big Hairy Demon Beleaguers South Virginia Family. God. So they say a big hairy demon. That sounds squatchy to me. And it doesn't sound like the good Squatch. It sounds like
not like me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
All right. A Southern Virginia man and his son investigate constant unexplained sounds around the outside of the house, and they soon encounter a massive Bigfoot in the nearby woods. And he says, I received the following report from an associate who lives near Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Isn't that your neck of the woods, Deb? I don't know if Deb's still here, but I don't know. Might just be. All right, the sighting occurred near Blackstone in Brunswick County, Virginia. It happened in May at 2 o'clock in the morning. The location is an area of the resident's backyard where he's got woods that are alongside a soybean field. The witness and his son were outside armed with a pistol and a shotgun. They were checking for what had made a heavy thud sound at the back of their house. Well, they thought it might be a burglar or a bear, especially since something had been causing trouble around their property for the past 2 years. This is what the witness stated in his report. I saw a deer run as if it was being chased, and then I saw a huge figure step out of the woods. This thing was at least 8 feet tall. I screamed out for this thing to stop, and it moved towards us running. I told my son to shoot, and he shot in its direction, and then it ran to my left flank and continued to run towards us. We ran back towards the house, and I was in terror because the thing was shaped like a man, but it was covered with hair. I stopped and watched it walk into the light from the house. It was huge, and there was an odor that really stunk. It stayed in sight for about 5 minutes before it walked into the woods. Oh, wow, it just wanted them to see him. There was follow-up report from a local investigator, DK, who confirmed this event with the son, and he said it was too dark to see well, but he could clearly hear loud, heavy running footsteps coming towards them. The witness also said it made a huffing noise and a shrieking sound when his son shot his gun. The thing rapidly approached the father and son and stopped just 15 feet short of where the witness stood. Oh, man. In the seconds before the witness turned and ran back to the house, he saw a massive creature 4 feet wide that dropped from 2 legs to a 3-point crouch, placing one hand on the ground. While it was too dark to make out the details of the face, he could see well enough to discern a surprised look on the creature's face. It looked at him, panting heavily at this point. The man and his son ran back to their house where his wife was. She told DK that her husband's face was blanched white with a look of terror and for some time he was unable to verbalize clearly. When he had calmed down enough to tell her what he'd seen, he could only describe it as a big, hairy demon. When the witness investigated the area the next day, there were 18 to 20-inch long footprints in the field. Oh, it was a monster. Wow. That was a big one. He also found long brown and gray hair in the woods behind his home. This isn't the first time strange things have happened to his property. There have been several occurrences of what we would call possible Bigfoot activity, and that he had attributed to people messing around on his property. Something had been pounding on the walls of his home and throwing rocks at his family and onto his roof. On many occasions, heavy things like a riding lawnmower or trailer had been moved overnight. There had also been loud howls coming out of the woods at night. Their young daughter had claimed to see a hairy man outside a window, but the witness didn't believe her at the time. This was prior to him having his actual visual encounter, where he saw the creature just 15 feet away from him. Also, the witness may have seen this creature before, but attributed to activity associated with nearby Fort Pickett, an Army National Guard maneuver training center. One evening, he saw what he thought was a very large guardsman wearing a backpack and a ghillie suit, walking along the road in front of his house. The second time, about a year later, when he saw the figure again, he called out to the figure, and it began walking fast until it turned into the woods along the road and disappeared. What makes this account even more interesting is that there were 2 reports coming out of Fort Pickett by soldiers who were training there. Both incidents occurred during the course of the same day, about 2 weeks prior to this witness encounter. DK spent several nights camping out of the resident's property, later confirming unusual howling and movement in the woods that he believed was Bigfoot. So the note from Lon is, I've received reports from the same area over the years. Here are the links to one of the reports. Shadowy cryptid stalks couple camping at Lake Phoenix Virginia. Wow. There you go. I might just open that up just for the sake of opening it, because we might as well hear and just check it out, because it might be related. Let's check it out. This one's from March 7th, 2022. Shadowy cryptid stalks couple camping at Lake Phoenix, Virginia. A couple are at Virginia Lake snorkeling and camping for the night, and they later notice an unknown being stalking them from wherever they go in the area around their campsite. Oh man, this neck. I recently came across the following account. This is the most terrifying thing that I've ever experienced. This happened 4 years ago when my boyfriend and I were still fresh into the relationship. My sister had recommended to me that a snorkeling trip for a fun thing to do with him. We went to Lake Phoenix, located in Brunswick County, Virginia. And it is quarry surrounded by a campground, and that's best known for its crystal clear water and diving. There's apparently a helicopter and a school bus that people dive down to see. I wonder how they got there. Oops. Somebody missed their turns. My boyfriend and I decided to go camping for the night, and while we were checking in, we separately both got a bad feeling about the place, but had kept it to ourselves until after we left. So at first it was a really good time. We snorkeled in the shallow area of the quarry, and although the depth of the water was a bit uncanny, I still was enjoying myself. The water is 65 feet deep, so once you swim out of the shallow area, it immediately dropped off and it was pitch black. This is actually where I realized I'm terrified of water. Oh, jeez. You didn't sort that out before you went swimming? Oh. Besides the dark, deep water while you're swimming, there is something very scary about a lake that is perfectly still. I assume because it was a quarry, the water doesn't have a current. My boyfriend and I are winding down our night, and we're back at our campsite. And we're camping in a grassy patch down a hill from the road. Our tent is pitched in a wooded area that our campsite is extended to, and just across the green is a campsite that looks well lived in. But our neighbors were out. Well, we're making hot dogs over the fire when our neighbors get back. It's nighttime now, and they immediately go to sleep. I'd say 20 to 30 minutes after they get back is when things started to become spooky. My boyfriend and I were chatting, and when we noticed a dark figure watching us from up the hill, because of the shadow of the fire, we could not actually make out the characteristics of the figure, but we knew it was staring directly at us, almost hiding behind our neighbor's truck. It had watched us for what felt like forever until it started walking down the road again. We both watched it in dead silence, watching it walk behind trees, the same ones connected to our campsite, but that also went in between us and it. I anticipated each time I'd see it walk forward out from behind a tree, and then it suddenly stopped appearing. I was totally freaked out. Where did it go? I watched my boyfriend looking at what happened and thinking the same thing, but he had shrugged it off, and I naively did too. We actually ended up forgetting about it and went to the quarry late that night. It was beautiful seeing the stars reflected against the water, but the deep, now all black water was terrifying to say the least. We walked back to our campsite, laid in our tent, and smoked a blunt, a joint, whatever. I soon began to get an uneasy feeling, which I was trying to ignore, telling myself it's because I was high. After some silence between us, my boyfriend says to me, "Do you feel like we're being watched?" And I said, "Why would you say that?" Well, I was half joking, but serious because I was scared. My boyfriend wanted to get out from the tent, so we're standing by my car, and I got this stupid idea that being in the middle of the field is the safest place for us. Oh, yeah, get away from your car. That's way too dangerous.
Oh, God.
My logic being that if someone was going to come at us, at least we'd be able to see them. Yeah, that's important before you die. So we're in the middle. Yeah. So we're in the middle of this field when we see a similar looking shadow figure from earlier staring at us. It must have been about 20 yards away. We both notice it while walking, and it's walking in the same direction as us. We change directions, and so does it. We tell one another if we change again, and it does too, that we're booking it to my car. When we change, it follows, and we book it to the car. I watched it from my seat as it slowly walked back into the darkness, while still staring in our direction. My boyfriend at this point says, "Let's get out of here." And I agree, but all our camping gear is outside. We quietly get our things together, not trying to freak the other one out. Or each other, or the other campers. The weirdest part of this story, in my opinion, is the next part. My headlights weren't working, and there was a weird fog over my windshield that didn't go away no matter what we did. We had to drive out of the woods with only low beams and a strange fog over the window. We barely could see, but we got out of there. Weirdly enough, the fog went away right as soon as we go to the gas station. We got home at around 1 a.m., and I told my father the story the next day, and he said he's glad we got out of there or else we could have been attacked. 2 people have died at this campground while snorkeling, which I found out after I got back. My boyfriend and I think it was either a person trying to kill us or an upright creature. We've kind of settled on the creature because what happened was an unexplainable incident. Yeah, crazy. And Lon says, Brunswick County, Virginia area is known for Bigfoot activity. Not sure what this couple encountered. Yeah. I mean, they didn't actually see it well enough to say it was a Bigfoot, but...
Well, I mean, what else could it be then? I guess Dogman, but...
Sure. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. But whatever it was persistent and perfectly comfortable in the darkness.
It does seem like the kind of mind games a Sasquatch would play to get you out of an area, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things for sure.
Yeah.
They do like to intimidate people out. Like if they want you gone, they just apply pressure. Now, I think that most of what was exhibited in that story is just the same curiosity that they exhibit so many other times. It's like they're staring at sticks and twigs most of the time. So when people come, it might be exciting. They just kind of want to watch, just see what we're doing. I don't think it's necessarily malicious in a lot of cases. I just think they're curious. Like, what are they doing? How did they make that fire? Maybe they're thinking stuff like that. Like, wonder how those metal boxes that they ride around in work. What's happening there? I mean, who knows? That's the stuff I'd be thinking if I was a Squatch. Yeah, where's that music coming from? I'm hearing music, but nobody's playing an instrument. We're weird.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I'd be thinking all that stuff, all this strange stuff. But, I mean, it did seem intent on following them. When it mirrored their movements, so that's where it kind of becomes creepy, though.
Well,
so
yeah.
Why is it following and changing directions? Did it not know they knew it was there? It's like, they have no idea I'm here in the woods. And they're very aware that it's right there. So maybe he thought he was being sneakier than he was and just kept with them.
Special Sasquatch in the family.
It's the window licker of the family. Yeah. So whatever the case, he didn't seem to catch on if that was his hint. But anyway, we're down to the final minutes of our journey, Sheldon. Can you believe it?
Oh my God!
I compare
sneaks up just like that Sasquatch.
I compare Sasquatch to monks in seclusion. Yeah, that's kind of a good comparison. I think they're in, I think they're normally in family groups. Usually where there's one, there's not just one, but that's just all you're seeing. I think that you're probably dealing with, 3 or better at any given time, or at least 2. But they just seem to be really good. And probably it's the more dominant ones that let themselves be noticed while the other ones are positioning. Who knows? I mean, 2 people died at this campground from snorkeling. It sounds like drowning, but what if it wasn't? Because there's lots of reports of Bigfoot swimming amazingly well and largely underwater from what I've heard.
Oh.
So they can, with those lungs, they can probably hold their breath for quite a while, and drag somebody under until they quit kicking and who knows what else. But
well, I wonder if they're like, in a way, they're guardians of a forest. So like, if you're disrespecting an area, and like, because they would see that area as their home, part of their area, their territory.
Sure.
Maybe if you're disrespecting it too much, tearing stuff apart and whatnot, maybe then that's when they take more serious action. Who knows?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's certainly probably that. Someone's standing right behind me. Rub my shoulders, will you please? Jeez, I need some work done. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy, but well, I forgot what I was going to say. The ghost took it right out of me, Sheldon.
Didn't want you speaking anymore.
Yep, said, shut up, you. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey. And tomorrow night on the show, if you tune in, we're going to do investigating. We're going to investigate some spiritual stuff. I'm going to set up a bunch of instrumental transcommunication devices, just like we did last Saturday. If you didn't catch that, if you haven't caught one of these shows, God, you're missing out. Oh my God. Now,
yeah, especially, the last show that you had me watch, that recap video.
Yeah.
My God, what an amazing night.
It really, really, really was. It was incredibly active. Now, we could start tomorrow and it could be just absolutely crickets. I mean, there's no saying whether or not there's going to be activity. I've certainly put out the gear and had nothing happen before. But the last 2 times that I've really put out everything, it's been really incredible. So we're going to do it again tomorrow. So if you want to tune in and be a part of that live ghost investigating, paranormal investigating right here in the studio, I'm hoping you won't be disappointed if you check it out. But if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go watch a video on our playlist on our page. It's called What You Missed, July 15th, 2023. That was the last session. And I just took the first 10 or 12 things that happened. There's still a whole bunch more if you actually watch the full episode from July 15th. There's a good hour of it, but I just took 8 minutes of stuff and created a bit of a video displaying several interactions. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Link in the chat if you want to watch it.
It
actually is an amazing
It really was.
Of what happened.
I mean, it was as much activity as I could have ever hoped for. Much beyond my expectations, to be honest with you. So I hope you guys will check it out. But Sheldon, anything in closing?
Absolutely. We cannot forget about the Paranormal Portal's home base. We have the Discord link in the chat, but we don't have the Paranormal Portal home base in the chat. So here we go, paranormalportal.net. You can go and stay up to date on the latest podcasts, latest episodes, when Dad's going to go live on the show, as well as have a chance at getting an interview. There's an interview me section there that you can schedule an interview time with Dad. Yeah,
if you got some paranormal stories of your own to share, I'd love to hear from you. Click that interview me button. I haven't updated my calendar, though, to reflect next week when I'm not going to be available for interviews. But yeah, I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow night and join me. But other than that, after tomorrow night, there won't be any live shows scheduled until the next week after next week. So 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 Wednesdays. No. One more Wednesday.
2 Wednesdays.
Yeah. So on the second Wednesday coming up.
That one.
That's when I'll start doing the live streams again. So I hope you guys will tune in, take care, and be a part of the journey. Let me look at the clock here and see what I'm dealing with. Oh, it's time to close it up. So remember, I got to disconnect the network. Went right into the wire. Went right into it. Hold on. So remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out as much as you can, please. We all need some help, believe me. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night right here at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll dig into it again. So good night, everybody.
Good night.